Hello students, once again this is Dr. Sujata Magdum, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nashik. Today I'll be dealing with structure of water for TYBSc student which is incorporated in the subject Biological Chemistry paper ZY333. So let us begin with our discussion on structure of water. You know that water is an essential component of life. You cannot think of life without water. All the plants and animals require water for their survival. In fact, I can say that life originated in water. Apart from drinking, it is also useful for other purposes like cooking, washing, bathing, cleaning utensils, clothes, recreations, and is also useful in agriculture. Our body, if we consider, we can say that 70% of the body is composed of water. According to many scientists, water, it acts as solute, solvent as well as reactant. Further, Nobel laureate Zent Gyroji, he described water as the matrix of life because it forms the essential part of living. Without this water, you cannot think of existence of life. Now let us move into the structural detail. We can say that this is the simplest molecule and is composed of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Each hydrogen atom is covalently linked to the oxygen atom by sharing a pair of electrons, and that is what you can see into the diagram. Further, oxygen has two unpaired or unshared pairs of electrons. Thus, there are four pairs of electrons involved in the water molecule, of which two pairs they are seen into the electron sharing part with hydrogen, and two of them they remain unpaired electrons and they are always seen in opposite condition. Opposite condition, I should say, opposite sides to one another. Then this sharing of electron is always seen unequal, and this unequal sharing of electron leads to the property which is called as polar or polarity. Now let us see how this happens. If you consider the number of protons in two different atoms, that is oxygen and hydrogen, we can say that oxygen, it has 8 protons into its nucleus, whereas hydrogen, it has only 1 proton in its nucleus. As a result of which, we can say that oxygen becomes much more stronger and it has the influence on the nucleus of the hydrogen, as a result of which hydrogen gets attracted towards the oxygen. Now this attraction, it leads to development of charges on both the atoms, that is both on oxygen as well as hydrogen. As a result, because oxygen, it has more number of protons as compared to hydrogen, and hydrogen coming in vicinity with the electron cloud of oxygen, we can say oxygen will show development of partial negative charge, whereas hydrogen, it will develop partial positive charge. Now this positive and negative charge is totally present or depends on the number of electrons which are seen present into the outermost shell. Here, because the attraction of the nucleus has enabled the electron of the hydrogen to move closer into the vicinity of oxygen molecule, obviously we can say that here there is enhancement or there is increase in the number of electron. Earlier there were 6 electrons, but because 2 hydrogen electrons they are seen involved or they are seen coming very close to oxygen, there is increase in the number of 2 more electron in the vicinity of oxygen. Therefore, as you know that electrons they are negatively charged, and hence the charge which is seen present on this oxygen will now become negative. At the same time, because the electron is getting donated to the oxygen, there is positive charge which is seen developed into the hydrogen. Now why positive charge on hydrogen? Because here the negatively charged electron is already donated to the oxygen, and obviously what is left with hydrogen is only the protons which are present into the nucleus, and as the protons are more as compared to electron. Now we cannot say electron is still with the hydrogen. It has already been donated to oxygen, and as a result of this, the hydrogen will gain a positive charge. So this slight positive and negative charges, they are called as delta positive and delta negative charges, and these are defined as the electronegativity property of the molecule. Now the charged region of the water molecule can attract any other polar or charged molecules which has been shown into this diagram. What does it mean? Now here if you consider hydrogen, let me say the central molecule as molecule 1. It is attracting molecule 1, 2 as well as 3. Now if you try to see the attraction is between the partial positive charge of hydrogen belonging to molecule 1 to that of the partial negative charge of the oxygen of molecule 2. In the same way, if we consider the attraction between molecule 3 and molecule 1, here we can say that there is again the bonding seen between partially positive charge of hydrogen with that of the oxygen, whereas in the last molecule the partial negative charge of oxygen gets attracted to the partial positive charge of the hydrogen, indicating that the both positive and negative charges, both positive as well as negative charges of the molecule, it helps in binding with the other molecules which comes into its vicinity, and that is only because the opposite charges, they have the tendency to attract each other. Further, this attraction has led to development of bonds which are called as hydrogen bonds, and there are two different types of hydrogen bonds which we are going to discuss into the next slide within the water molecule. The first one is within the same molecule of water, and then the second type of hydrogen bond is between the two molecules of water. So if it is between two molecules of water, we can say it is interhydrogen bonding. If it is within the molecule, then we call it as intrahydrogen bonding. So interhydrogen bonding is always a weak bond as compared to intrahydrogen bonding, right? Okay. So let us move ahead to understand the chemical structure of water. Already we have discussed that there is involvement of two hydrogen atoms which binds with one single atom of oxygen. As already I said, the nucleus of oxygen, it contains 8 protons which are positively charged, whereas the nucleus of both hydrogen atoms individually will contain one positively charged proton. And the difference between this, which has led to formation of delta positive on hydrogen and delta negative on oxygen, has brought about the differences into their charges, and this differences in electric charges between the two parts of the same molecule is defined as the polarity. A polar molecule is one in which a part of the molecule is positively charged and a part of the same molecule is showing a negative charge. I hope it is very clear to you. Where now here you can see the space filling model of water, wherein the red sphere is defining the oxygen and white sphere is defining the hydrogen. Now partial positive charge of hydrogen is shown here and development of partial negative charges, right? Now we'll try to understand the details of the lone pair and tetrahedral structure of water. In water molecule, oxygen is showing sp3 hybridization and hence has 4 sp3 hybridized orbital. Now which are those 4 sp3 hybridized orbital? Let us see. This is first, this is second, this is third and this is fourth. So there are 4 sp3 hybridized orbital into oxygen molecule. The red sphere is defining the oxygen. Two of these sp3 hybrid what I should say, two of these, this one as well as this one, sp3 hybridized orbitals are half filled and hence they are seen always overlapping with the hydrogen atom, so that it forms two sp3s OH and sigma bond, while the other two sp3 orbitals, they are showing presence of a pair of lone pair electron. This causes bending of the molecule and as a result there is development of an angle. Now this angle which is seen between the oxygen and two hydrogen atom is measured as 104 degrees, 104.5 degrees. This is defining the geometry of the water molecule, and actually speaking it is slightly smaller as compared to the normal tetrahedral structure of carbon, which is measured around 109.5 degrees. The reason why this variation is observed is in water, oxygen is surrounded by two shared pairs of electrons and there are two lone pairs of electrons which are also called as valence electron. According to valence shell theory, the electron pair repulsion, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, lone pair repulsion is stronger than the bond pair, and this bond pair repulsion has resulted into formation of a bond angle which is slightly smaller than the regular tetrahedral angle, that is 109.5 degrees. The actual bond angle is therefore 104.5 degrees instead of showing presence of 109.5 degrees. This results in formation of bond length between oxygen and hydrogen that measures nearly 95.7 pn. Right? The geometry of water molecule dictates the shape of the outermost electron orbitals of oxygen, which are similar to the bonding orbitals of the carbon. These orbitals describe a rough tetrahedron with a hydrogen atom at each of the two corners of the unpaired or unshared electrons at the two ends. This is how you get the tetrahedral structure for water molecule. Now, if you see these lone pair electrons of the oxygen, it appears like the rabbit's ear. So, it is also commonly called as rabbit's ear. It is explained in the form of rabbit's ear. This is just a synonymic form, you can say, to understand. Now let us see the bonds and bond angles in the water molecule. Already we have discussed that there is positive and negative charge seen developed into the water molecule. If I consider only this, I can say oxygen is partially negative whereas hydrogen is partially positive, and these positive and negative charges, they attract each other, as a result of which there is formation of a linking or bonding which is called as hydrogen bonding, because the bond is formed between the hydrogen and the oxygen. Obviously, this hydrogen bond between oxygen and hydrogen within the same molecule is called as the intramolecular bonding. So there is first type of bond which is hydrogen bond and is intramolecular bonding. In the same way, if I consider two separate molecules of water, here you can see that once again there is second molecule with oxygen showing partial negative charge, and this partial negative charge of oxygen tries to make a linking with partial positive charge of hydrogen of the first molecule. Obviously, this interlinking leads to formation of a bond, which is once again an hydrogen bond. Because it is between two molecules, I can say it is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Now this intermolecular hydrogen bonding happens to be weak. So mark the cursor. This is the intermolecular hydrogen bonding, INTER, intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So this happens to be weak. If I consider within the same, then it is intra, INTRA. So that intra-hydrogen bonding is much more stronger as compared to the intermolecular bonding. Now let us see what is the significance of this bonding. The water molecule as a whole, now we can say, has both positive as well as negative charges. And under optimum condition, these water molecules attract each other. Now if you consider here the second diagram, I have shown many water molecules which are attracted to one another. And this attraction has led to forming an bonding which is transient or temporary within themselves, and such bonding which leads to aggregate the components together or the molecules together, we can say gives rise to a geometrical pattern which is called as a cluster. Now in this cluster, if you see minutely, the positive charge of hydrogen will always be seen intending to meet the negative charge of the oxygen whichever molecule you consider, and hence this lining of both the positive with the negative side within the water of two molecules is defined as a dipole. Now, what is the use of understanding this structure of water? Here, I have given you two separate pictures of water molecule. The first one, because it has been taken from a polluted lake and the structure is been analyzed. This structure depicts that there is distortion of the molecules within the water, and as a result, this is the damaged water molecule picture from a polluted reservoir from the Japan. In the same way, if you see the pure crystalline form, it shows clear pointing edges which is seen in the ice flakes, right? Now obviously, because of this variation in the shape, we can say that polluted water is harmful for drinking as compared to the pure form of water, right? In the next class, we are going to understand the structure of ice and structure of gaseous state of water, that is water vapors, right? Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.